Welcome to episode 18, I believe, of the Killstreaks and Kickoffs podcast. I apologize. We took a week off last week. I know a lot of people were probably devastated with the absence of the podcast. There was probably an empty void in a lot of people's weeks. I get it. Trying to not let that happen again. So, like I said, my apologies for that. But we are back this week once again. Joined by Drew today. Drew, how are we doing on this, what is today, Wednesday, about to be Thursday night?
I'm doing good, man. Watched my boy Luca just put on a show against the Mavs. Pretty late night, so we'll see if we're still locked into our picks.
Yeah, we're gonna be testing the witching hours of CDL Pickems tonight. See how that fares for us as we look ahead towards the next
Definitely be
week.
better than the witching hours actually on Call of Duty. That's for sure.
Yeah.
As we learned last night.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. But yeah, let's hop right into things. First thing I do want to take a look at, or actually, I'll mention this before we get into the pick'ems. We did have some
You didn't
roster
say?
mania. What's that?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I'm not logged. Oh, I'm not logged in yet. Yeah, I need to do that. But while I'm doing this, last episode that we did have, there were some like roster mania changes that I did go over. And so that being said, I covered most of them last week, but there were a few changes that we did end up seeing this week in these matches. So we'll just kind of touch on those as we go through the podcast, or as we go through the schedule of these matches, and then cover them as we go. So that's kind of how we're going to handle it, since there's not a whole lot, like I said, but just want to get that out of the way. First thing, though, did want to take a look back at our Week 1 pick'ems. I guess my Week 1 pick'ems. We didn't have the episode, but I did go on ahead, fill them out, and posted them on the Instagram story. So, yeah, did pretty well. I don't know why this LA Thieves Vancouver Surge series hasn't gotten the result in yet, but we picked that correctly. We go 8 for 10 here. I'm gonna count this as 8 for 9 though. This Breach Toronto Ultra game is a bunch of bullshit in my opinion. Like, I don't know how you can count that. So I'm gonna just technically count that game out and say go 8 for 9 this past week. Only one get wrong here is the Optic versus Cloud9. I apologize, Optic. I was not familiar with your game. I didn't think you were gonna come out and slam Cloud9 like you did, but that is exactly what they did. 3-0 slammed them. So we'll get to that match for sure. But not a bad week of picks for sure. Good call there on like the Toronto upset over Atlanta FaZe. That was a good read there. But other than that, pretty self-explanatory weekend of picks. But just wanted to touch on that and see how we're looking. We'll get to next week's predictions later on in the podcast. But let's move on to the actual matches themselves and dive into those here. Kicking it off with day one, what do we got? I think we starting off with Vancouver Surge plays the new Vegas Falcons roster here, and hold on, I don't know why this is. I want to do CDL
Challenger.
only. Yeah, this is showing me challengers. Okay, here we go. CDL only, got it. Completed. Yeah, we kick it off with Vegas Falcons versus Vancouver Surge here, and it is that new Vegas Falcons roster that we get to see of Arcides, Exnid, Pred, and Priesta. So that'll be the first thing we mention here. I don't think this roster was formed as of the last episode.
Nope.
So yeah, I think we just knew that they were going to be shifting to an NA roster, but we didn't know like who the actual players were going to be on this team. So this is what they ended up forming here. What are your thoughts on this roster here?
I mean, it's better than what they had.
Yeah.
I think this roster could definitely. I don't know. This roster elevates them from like obvious bottom that they were, but I still don't know if it. I still doubt. Like they're definitely still a bottom 6 team. And I would say bottom 4. I don't think it elevates them to anything too crazy. But they do like this one is not a good, a culmination of what they did. The other game shows them clicking a little bit more, so maybe they get a little bit more time together. They'll put together because they did look a lot better in that second series they played this weekend. But the Surge team was always going to smack them.
Yeah. I mean,
So I just Priest. I guess my thought is like, I mean, our cities was fine in challengers. Obviously, Pred and Xnet I think are very good SMGs. But the ARs might really get clapped in some of these games versus like the good ARs.
yeah, I pretty much totally agree with you. Like the bar was at the floor for this Vegas Falcons team, so I mean, any change is better than what they were having. Like any NA talent you're bringing in is gonna be better. So, already improvement, I guess. But I literally have written down as well here, Priesta. I don't really agree with that pickup personally. Arcides as the AR, I think it's fine as like a veteran presence to have on the roster. Because I mean, otherwise, you've got Xnet and Pred, who I wouldn't say are veterans yet by any means, but Arcides kind of brings that. And then, I mean, you got Priesta in here. Priesta's got his chance already this season. He has not looked good, just straight up.
No,
So, I mean, he's already had his chance to show what he can do and hasn't taken advantage of that chance. Arceus hasn't really got that yet, and he has been frying in challengers. He's literally, I mean, last year he won challengers champs, and he's been doing the same thing this year. So, he's been doing his thing. So I definitely think that's a deserving pickup at least. But I think they should have taken a gamble on like some sort of challengers unknown variable talent for
it
the
really
other
just would have been.
AR.
It would have been nice for them to somehow also bring in Fellow for that spot.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but I guess it is what it is.
Yeah. So,
So I
I
still
mean,
I still really don't have that many thoughts on Vegas Falcons. Like this is
no.
just the Surge is a good team. Vegas is still gonna be a bad team, just better.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're a
So,
0 out of 10, now they're a 3 out of 10.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
So
there's not much else to say about the series. Surge is the better team here, and they get it done in a 3-0 fashion.
they'll end up winning. I think they'll end up winning a match.
Yeah, they will. They will at some point. The last roster was incapable of it. There was no argument there,
Yeah,
but this roster is definitely capable of at least winning a match. So
yeah.
we'll see how fast that happens or whatnot. But let's move on to the Optic Texas versus Minnesota ROKKR series, and of course, this is the immediate revenge series here for Kenny to get slotted into the ROKKR roster. This series goes to a round 11 map 5 banger of a series. But yeah, it was a close one for sure. This was definitely improvement on I'd say both team sides. I mean, this being such a close match, I think there were a lot of positives that we could look at from both of these rosters in this game. I mean, obviously, one round would have decided the winner or the loser, so that kind of means that both the level of play is going to be pretty similar from both teams in this one. S&Ds didn't really look great for Optic, I would say.
No, I was stunned they iced up in that game
Yeah,
5.
me as well. So, um, that was one thing that didn't look great, and I mean the hard points were still pretty close, so I think they still have some things to iron out with there. But like I said, I think that also speaks volumes to like this ROKKR team. This ROKKR team is no pushover, bro. Kenny is in the roster now. I think this is basically like the most optimal situation Kenny could have landed
Yeah,
anywhere, like anywhere in the league. Obviously outside of like FAZE, which is just unrealistic, but um. I think he's gonna fry on this team, and I think this team's gonna be kind of like knocking on that door of like the top 4 making Sundays as of what we can see right now. So yeah, we'll talk about it
yeah.
later because they do win. But I'll give more of my thoughts. But I mean, you go ahead.
Yeah, I'll save a lot of my thoughts for, I guess, both these teams. Yeah, both these teams' second series. But I know you texted me, and I forget what I was doing, but I had turned the series off when Optic went down 5-4 in that search on map 5. And then you texted me and it was like Optic avoided the revenge. You know what I mean? Like they broke the revenge curse, and I was
Yeah,
like, did they really come back and win this? So I had to like tap back into the YouTube and watch those last 2 rounds, and yeah, I mean, pretty
yeah,
nuts.
yeah. That was a banger series for sure. So
Was it
always.
earlier in that map, or was it the round 10 that Dashy or somebody won the 1v1? Uh,
Let's see if there's a
somebody
clip
won a
for it.
really
Yeah,
big.
yeah. They have the clip for it right here. Dashy clutches 1v1. I have this in 1080p. Yeah,
I mean, this was nuts.
dude, those bunker fights are just so crazy. Like it's
Oh,
in these like pro level search and destroys. Like it's
he
so
got so
insane.
lucky. Yeah, He sees him not cross, and
Yeah, he
slow
hasn't.
peeks this left corner to clear that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Bruce he's definitely one of the iciest players in the league. I mean, when it comes
that's a
to
tough spot for Nero. Like,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
I
Once you don't slide out immediately after
Yeah.
plant,
Yep. I think Nero, the best thing he could have done was slide out here instead of, I mean, sitting there. Because, I mean, I don't know. You run the risk of Dashy beaming you, and chances are he probably would have. But, I mean, it's better than
then
just waiting to be
hurdling.
pounced on. But, yeah. Great play from Dashy to bring it to map 5, or sorry, round 11, and then they do end up winning that round 11. So yeah, banger of a
Yeah.
series there, and yeah, we got to see another 3-2 following it here in this Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto Ultra match, and Toronto actually get it done. I think this was a phenomenal like statement breakout match series for Toronto Ultra to start off the new split. Just really, yeah, huge statement on the maps that they won. The maps they lost were still very close. I mean, they dropped that search and destroy in round 11 in the map 2, and then dropped the control in the overtime. So those are still very close. Um, but yeah, I mean, just great from Toronto. Simp was definitely off in this series for Atlanta FaZe. He drops a .83 on the series. Was kind of really wasn't pulling his weight there. So not the series you typically expect or what we've been seeing from Simp all season. But other than that, I mean, FaZe actually kind of outslayed Toronto. Otherwise, obviously, Toronto was a little bit more consistent in terms of the discrepancies between their KDs, but yeah, just fundamentally they get it done, and then they close out the search and destroy in the map 5 against FaZe to pull this one off. So I wonder if they were, I don't know what, like if they were dealing with internet problems in this one. I mean, probably not, because I think Atlanta plays out of Atlanta and Toronto's in Toronto, so I would assume they both be like East Coast-ish servers, but I don't know. It didn't look to be a problem in this one, so they get it done against Atlanta FaZe. So this is a huge series for them, for sure. But what do you think of this one?
Yeah, no, um I thought my all-star pick Joey D showed up. Um and my other all-star SMG kind of struggled, like you said. But big, I mean, just that's a big statement, man. You lose to them in the grand finals, you get a second, and then you come out and you say, hey, what we did wasn't a fluke. Uh, they beat us, but you just turn around and beat the team that beat you. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of like uh, I feel like in the NFL and the NBA, they'll put the teams that just played like the finals or the Super Bowl against each other like week one, and that's kind of what it felt like. We're just like, all right, right back at
Finals,
it, and
well, finals was FaZe Surge, but Toronto was 3.
oh
Toronto
yeah.
lost
Never mind.
to, right? They lost to,
Forgot. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was
okay.
Surge. I for some reason just thought it was Ultra. I forgot, but I mean, same thing. Top three,
Yeah,
and you just turn around and you're like, and it wasn't a fluke. We can beat the best team. Good statement from them.
yeah. Yeah, I was I
So
was I was impressed with this one, and I called, like I said, I called this one. So I mean, it's just
I
it's
think I would have been with you on that call.
yeah,
I think I would have been right there with you.
yeah. So great series
FaZe
for
loves kind of trolling early
yeah,
in
yeah. Like
splits too.
that was my thought process, was they did the same thing against Surge, like either the first or second match of the split last time,
Hmm.
and
Yep.
fell to them. So I mean, I was like, this I would not surprised to see Toronto Ultra come out with that one. So, and that they do. But let's move on to day 2 here, getting it kicked off with another Vegas Falcons series here. Miami does come out on top over Vegas, 3-2 in 3-2 fashion, and Vegas, the Vegas Falcons franchise finally get not one but 2 hard
Okay.
point wins in this series. So this is why, like going back to what you said earlier, the fact that they won 2 of these hard points is why they like can win a series this year. Like these, they're not gonna get Neslo'd every single time, and like if they have the
Mhm.
capability to win hard points, like one of these maps are gonna go their way eventually.
They'll
So
put in they'll put in a little bit more. My thoughts are like they'll put in a little bit more time on like the search stuff like that. I feel like that takes a little bit longer to like mesh and
yeah,
stuff. Everybody knows how to play a hard point. You know your roles. Um, but it takes a little bit longer of like, knowing,
Yeah.
what hits, what bomb hits, how we're gonna, retake stuff like that. So they'll mesh that stuff out, and they'll definitely get a map win. But it was good to see them get 2 hard points.
Yeah. Um, as for Miami though, I mean Super looked solid. I mean he was obviously the MVP of the series, drops a 1.35, so he looked solid, but like that doesn't change my thoughts on this roster.
Elevate them.
Yeah, like that doesn't elevate them. And also, I mean, if you're going last map against a brand new roster that formed literally a week ago, and you're pretty much a functioning system that has already spent half the year scrimming with pretty much the same roster with one person subbed out. Like, I don't know, man. That's a little concerning for me for Miami. So like, I'm not super moved by this one way or the other with this. Like the result of this series here. So. That's just my thoughts on it. I'm still not buying in. I think, I mean, this team, like I've said it many times, this team is going to be built around and dependent on Real and ROKKR's level of play. Super maybe he keeps trying like this. I don't know, but just off of this, it's not enough for me to sway the needle one way or the other. But are you good on? Do you have anything else with this series?
No,
Okay. All right.
Miami is so unserious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, just not a real franchise.
Yeah. So, yeah. They do get it done there, but let's move on to LAG versus Carolina Royal Ravens here. Carolina gonna get it done here. I don't know a whole lot to say on the Carolina side, because I mean they're just obviously like expected to win this one again. But as for LAG, I think this LAG roster was discussed last episode. I don't know if it
Hmm.
was the correct one. It ended up being Fellow, Kismet, Lunars, and Ojani here. Ojani comes out, looks good. Fries for LAG, but everybody else on the roster not able to get it done. He drops a 1.2 to go positive, and the rest of them are going to go negative here. So he looked good, but other than that, wasn't super impressed with anything yet from this LAG team. That being said, this is their only series they played, so like I'm not like out on them or anything, or I'm not drawing a conclusion. At least they're making a change, and trying to do something instead of um, doing what a lot of other teams like to do, and
Yeah.
not make a change. So I'm not gonna super harshly criticize these guys for losing to. I mean, and we would expect Carolina to beat LAG anyways. So I'm not gonna be super harsh on them. As for Carolina, though, I mean, yeah, like I said, the onliners, man, they're back at it. I wouldn't have expected this match to go any other way, but yeah, anything from you here or thoughts
I
on
got
this?
three pretty quick thoughts.
Yeah,
Glad to see LAG make some changes, like you said. They were just bad. These changes will help them in the long run. Two, for some reason, always like just maybe it was like the social media thing when we talked about it on the podcast, but like it's Lunars and Neptune will always be kind of a pairing because they were both brought in around the same time,
yeah,
as well. And Neptune, like I mean, Lunars is just not like I'm I compared them, and obviously Neptune's been substantially better. I haven't seen a whole lot out of Lunars yet. And then Gwinternet,
yeah.
foul ass nickname, bro.
Dude,
Um,
who was it? One of the casters dropped it on the
yeah,
broadcast. I don't know if it was like
the
Maven. I think it was Maven.
yeah, that's foul as fuck. But I mean, it is true. Like when once again, most kills in the lobby on he's got to bring it next LAN. I think this is kind of this will be a big turning point for Gwyn on this stretch.
Yeah, it's like a
So we'll see.
it's like a he's at a
Crossroads.
crossroads. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see what
like
we see from Gwen on land because it was like last stage. There was kind of the rumblings about him being an onliner going into
yeah.
the major, but it was like he still could prove himself,
Mm,
or that may
Now it's
not
making the
necessarily be true.
broadcast.
Yeah, now
Now
it's
it's
like
making the broadcast.
yeah,
Yeah.
he went out to Major 2, didn't shit the bed, and was nowhere near as good as he was online. So now the narrative is like confirmed, and it's like he's got this stage to kind of either separate from that or just further fall into the Gwinternet meme.
He's
So
kind of in a tough spot because you obviously want to cook in these games, like these qualifiers. You kind
he
of
just
like, you
starts
know me, you obviously
throwing.
want to cook.
He just
Yeah.
starts throwing.
He's like, I'm not even good online. Like, I'm not even good online, dude. Like, get off my ass.
Yeah.
No, that'd be hilarious. But I think that's a storyline I want to keep track of is that he's at a crossroads.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely. But they do get it done here in this one against LAG, so not much else to say on that one. Let's move on to the second to last match of day 2. Yeah. Optic, come out. Like I said, we were talking about this one earlier. This is the only one I got wrong in my picks here. They come out in 3-0 Cloud9. And so I was super surprised by this because I mean they didn't just come out and beat them. They beat the shit out of them, bro. 100-point club in the hard point. 6-3 in the search and destroy, and then a 3-1 in the control. I mean, they absolutely slammed these guys, bro. This series was much more impressive from Optic than going map 5 round 11 versus ROKKR. Looked like they were playing with teamwork and a plan. I mean, Hook is obviously back to doing what he was doing in stage 1 with this Optic team. I mean, this game is just so catered to him. Like his play style just perfectly fits it. I mean, that's why like him and Neptune have very similar play styles, and like arguably Hook is like a better Neptune. Some would probably say. I'll leave that up to interpretation. I mean, Neptune's kind of proved himself already, but yeah, I mean, his playstyle is great. The dynamic with Shotzzy looked great in this one. This was a pretty flawless series from Optic, so I think if we see this Optic more throughout the year or more throughout the stage, then I think you can be a little bit more optimistic going into the major 3 if you are them. And then just as for Cloud9, it is a little bit concerning of a series for them. But it's only been one series. This is another team that only played one match this weekend, so I'm not going to freak out on it. Also, I think Optic and Cloud9 scrimmed today, and I want to say they split maps, like 4-4. Shotzi's been streaming scrims, which has been great to watch. This is something to put your eyes on during the week related to COD. But as for today's matches, I'm pretty sure these two teams did scrim and they did split maps. So I don't know. Maybe Optic just got the best of the vetoes in this one and got to play them on their better maps and handed it to them. So I'm not completely out on Cloud9. It is a little bit concerning with this type of showing. I mean, it's a red carpet, but it's not the end of the world. What do you think here? Like, about both teams, I guess.
Wow. Wow. Really surprised.
Yeah.
Would not have picked that even if we did this podcast. Yeah, I think it was just a weird series. Sib's been locked in recently, and this was rough. So just kind of continuing this like unlucky. Like wasn't Cloud9 very unlucky at the land. They ran into FAZE and then somebody else. Like they ran into two really good
FaZe and
teams.
Thieves, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was FaZe and Thieves. Yeah, and then they get this. So I hope they can really turn it around. Starting to scare me. Like the land didn't scare me. This starts to scare me a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Optic looks good. Optic looks good in the scrims that they've been doing. It does suck a little bit. Like I truly do wonder how they won champs last year with how Shotzzy talks. Like man, it doesn't take them long when Pred's off their team to kind of throw them in the dirt a little bit. I don't know if it's less of that and more like Shotzzy just loves Hook. But man, it's like they're quick to be like Shotzzy was like, I just didn't feel like we played well together. And like Hook's the yin to my yang. It's like, man. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck are we what's these decisions we've been making then? You know what I mean? So
Yeah. It's
whatever.
also a really different game too. Like I don't know. Their play styles may not have matched up as well on this game versus the last game. I don't know. That could be a thing. That is one thing as well too that like a lot of people will think about. And I know Aches preaches this on the flank like all the time. Like every single COD is a new game. So like the best team in the game the previous year can be the worst team in the game the next year, and we quite literally saw that on full display this year. So I don't know. I'm in the same boat as you though. Like it's really weird. Like I don't understand how um, like Shotzi can be so comfortable with Pred the previous year as a duo, and then and I mean, yeah, so comfortable with them in the previous year as a duo, and then come into this year in this game as
Yeah.
just yeah, completely
You know, my biggest
erase that.
takeaway from that, from you, and I know they talk about it on the flank. It just makes it so impressive of what that. I mean, of what the FaZe team
Oh
has done.
yeah, yeah,
Like it's just ridiculous, man. It doesn't matter what changes are made to the franchise. They are just dominant year after year after year. So, a little shout out to them. We'll get to them.
yeah. Especially with modern day CODs, like how shit they are. Aside from honestly, this year has been one of the better ones, so I'm not gonna trash on Black Ops 6, but with how shit some of the modern day CODs have been since like the CDL has came out and they have been running it every single year is extremely typical. I will agree, but went on a little phase glaze tangent there, but we'll reel it back in. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I had for this Optic
Yep.
versus
Same.
Cloud9 match. But we'll move on here to the last match of day two,
I
and this one
I don't have shit to say about this.
yeah,
Like,
I mean this was a lot of bullshit. I don't know. Like there was a bunch of delays. I don't know if you were watching, but I was just
yep.
sitting there like with Zuma stream in the background, kind of like loosely paying attention to it and like yeah, they come out and Toronto looks like they have no idea what's going on or can't shoot back in both of these maps and then they forfeit after waiting forever. So I guess they were like rubber banding and getting packet loss for the first two maps, but Advents wouldn't allow a fix or some shit like that.
Yep.
So they ended up forfeiting. Some people, I saw some people saying this was like a pussy move from Toronto. I personally disagree with that take. I think online COD is horrendous, and any form of like protesting online COD I can get behind. So I mean, hopefully situations like this will like motivate CDL or Activision to fix like server issues, or one day we may return to like a LAN league. Of matches being played like it used to be. So, but that's very hopeful. As of right now, though, like whatever, shit like this is just gonna keep happening. So, it is what it is. But like I said, I didn't count this one in my pick'ems here. But yeah, I guess Boston Breach gets a free 10 CDL points, so congrats, Boston Breach. But let's move on to the next Boston Breach map, where they actually had to play somebody, and ROKKR
That was
beats.
that was that had yeah, that was on equal playing field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
ROKKR comes out and gets it done against Boston Breach. Gets their first win with Kenny here. Once again in map 5, round 11 fashion here. This time they're going to come out with the W from it. Like I said earlier, Kenny's going to fry. That's exactly what he did in this series. Drops what was this series, KD? 1.26 on the series. Um, I mean, this AR duo looked insane. It's like this duo is going to be potentially lethal. If they can get Nero and Estriel like back, consistently frying in this, like this team is gonna be dangerous. Knocking on the door, if not a potential lock for Sundays, depending on how things go and how they're able to clean up some things. I mean, obviously, going to two map 5 round 11s, there are some things you still need to tidy up and whatnot. But I mean, these hard points already looked better against Boston Breach, and just need to kind of clean a few things up in the search and destroy and control department. But um, great showing from Minnesota ROKKR, and only thing I have written elsewise is that Boston sucks still. So that's all I got. Well, what did you think of this series?
Uh, I thought, yeah, it was like we kind of hinted at earlier that ROKKR. I really like this. Just a bunch of young guys, and then Kenny.
Yeah,
Like, I saw, like, Twitter really made me believe in this team more. Like the whole clip of, like, you see the clip of Kenny talking, and all of them are just like looking down, like listening so intently.
I
Um,
did not see that. No, but
Literally, he's like talking. I don't know if it was during, you know what I mean? Like, you could see all their face cams, like during
yeah.
the match, and he's
Okay,
like
yeah.
talking, and all of them are like looking down at him at the like down the line, listening just so intently. Like these guys are locked in. They've got a vet around that's done it. You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
is a dude been around. This dude's won. These kids are locked in, just picking his brain. Like it's gonna be great for all three of them. It's gonna be great for their team. And then just like JP was saying some stuff on his stream, saying that like the biggest regret he had about the Optic team with Kenny is just that like they never really were conducive to like Kenny.
Yeah.
And like listen to Kenny's like play style, or like, you know what I mean, like listen to Kenny because these guys have, you know what I mean, it makes sense. Shotzi, Dashy, they've all been around, so you know what I mean, like, they kind of feel like they can do their things their own way. But you know, this team, like JP made me believe, like if a team just listens to Kenny, they're gonna be successful, and he's gonna cook. And yeah, this rocker team, I believe in them now. Your mic's not working.
Hello? Hello?
Yep, not can hear you.
Okay. That's weird. I might have unplugged it accidentally. But no, I was saying that's an interesting point that you make because I wonder if like last year, like going into the MW3 season, if they were kind of able to do that with like follow what Kenny says and play the way that Kenny wanted to play the game, more so. Because I mean, realistically, like they hadn't, like none of those guys had done anything
Yeah.
yet, and so they were kind of in that boat where like, okay, we're gonna bring a veteran in here. Kenny's gonna tell us what the fuck to do, and he's gonna bring us a ring, and that's exactly what he did. And then like I
Hmm.
wonder, I'm not trying to like draw conclusions or anything, but I mean, you get a ring, you get a chip, you
Just an
win a
ego.
world championship, you get a bit of an ego, and you know, you start to want to play the game your way, or don't want to necessarily listen as much as you are when you're starving for that ring, like these guys were. So maybe that's just that. Maybe that was the factor that ended up, you
Yeah,
know, leading to them not being able to play the way that Kenny wanted to play, and
I have 100% some of that, and also I feel like it's tough. Like, imagine you're in a locker room with a bunch of, you know what I mean, like in a basketball. So, like, say I'm your leader in the, you know, for on a basketball team, and then I'm going out putting up stinkers.
yeah,
Like, you're gonna lose the locker room at a point. It's like, bro, your ass.
yeah,
You're dropping a point three. Like, I ain't listening to you anymore.
yep, yeah, exactly.
So I think you start losing them there. So I think it's a little combo meal of both. But these guys are so locked in, so good for them.
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for him to do that with like all of these guys, and they're definitely gonna listen. So I'm excited to see how they play and how the rest of the season looks for them. But they get it done here against Boston Breach, and then let's move on to Atlanta FaZe versus Carolina Royal Ravens here. I will say Carolina's hardpoints did look decent. I mean, they got the win in the first one and then only lost the second one here by 8. Other than that, though, not a whole lot that we could say here for positively for Carolina. I mean, they get 6 0'd in the search and destroy and 3 0'd in the control. Um, yeah, I mean, Carolina just doesn't have what it takes to beat these top teams. We haven't seen. I think we saw them beat FaZe once, like online major
Yeah.
one, and that's the only time we've seen them be able to do it. So they don't have what it takes. The S&D was really surprising because I mean that was one thing they kind of had going for them that was gonna be you know, something they had. But I mean if they don't have that, then I don't see a win condition at all against these top teams for these guys. So I was super surprised by that. But if that's not something that they have in their bag and they're gonna walk out and get 6 0'd by FaZe in that S&D, then yeah, they're just not gonna have a win condition against these top teams. So. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say here. FaZe just slammed them. But I mean, yeah, great series from
I
all of
might.
them.
I'm getting to the point where I'm done talking about Ravens against the top two teams.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, it feels like they play them so much too. They've had
Oh,
so
it
many
does.
chances.
Oh, you would think they'd just limp into one, but no. They're. I'm selling. I think I've sold about 3/4 of my stock
Yeah,
in Ravens. I think the Ravens stock kind of looks like the stock market right now.
yeah,
Um, they're losing me a little bit. They learn how to play hardpoint and they forget how to play S&D. Like,
yeah,
come on, let's figure it the fuck out. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm done. I'm saying this right now on the air. I'm not. I'm done talking about Ravens versus these or FaZe.
Yeah, it's gonna be the
Until they
same
show me
result
something.
for sure, for sure. But yeah, FaZe get it done there to improve to well, they get their I guess yeah, that was their first win of the stage, so they'll improve to 1-1 and they'll knock Carolina to 1-1. But let's move on to the last match of the day, and this one, um, LA Thieves gonna come out 3-0 against Vancouver Surge here. Thieves back to what we expected of them online, no surprise there. Scrap's tweet was hilarious. I think he was like, "I love online COD" or something like that after. But yeah, they came out and slammed him, of course. Great series from Envoy. You love to see that from him. I was a little disappointed by Vancouver Surge's showing in this one. I mean, I picked LA Thieves, I think, but still didn't really expect Vancouver to come out here and get 3-0'd like this. So I was a little bit disappointed, but not super worried or anything, though. It's just one series against one of the best teams in the games here. But yeah, they definitely got caught off guard here by this Thieves team today, and Thieves came out hot in this one. I don't got much else to say otherwise though. What do you think here, or what were your thoughts?
Very surprising.
Yeah,
Don't have a whole lot of thoughts. So
yeah,
kind of a weird weekend for COD. I'm not taking too much stock into all this.
yeah. Because I mean, yeah, overall, like it's some of these new teams that came out, new rosters that we saw. So it's like if we see a team making a change with a new roster, I don't want to be too harsh on them.
Yeah,
Before
and
we've given them time.
think about how many times Surge or like this is the only team Thieves had to prepare for. How many
Yeah.
times has FaZe won a major and lost the next weekend? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not moved.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, that's the matches. At least we did get to see a bit more map fives than we're normally used to, so that was at least fun. But that was the matches for that last week. But let's take a look ahead at week 2 here, this next upcoming weekend. And let's get it kicked off. Optic versus Miami is going to be our first match of the week here. I'm thinking here if Optic looks at all like they did against C9, they will win this one with ease. I've got 3-0 Optic here in this one, but I don't know what you think. I'm not a I've voiced it many times. I'm not a believer in Miami. I have no reason to pick them from what we've seen.
I want to add my thoughts, but the streets know about our curse. You finally broke our
Uh,
curse by
yeah.
yourself, so I can't really say what I want to say.
Okay.
But let's just say I don't disagree.
Okay. Okay.
So
All right. Yeah, we hopefully we don't reinitiate the curse by bringing you back on for this episode, but I'll just make the call then
otherwise,
on this one.
otherwise, I'll just for the next podcast, if somehow Heretics wins that game, we'll just have to like
We
cut
will
me out of
literally
the podcast and then bring you back in for the second game of Friday. So
or we literally like have a conversation about who we think is gonna win and then just straight up pick the other person after we've come to a
yeah,
decision of who we genuinely think is gonna win. Literally pick the other
yeah.
person. So
I think I would
uh
go 3-1, but I'm down with 3-0.
okay. All right. So that's match one, and then we've got LAG against Vancouver Surge. Yeah, I've got Vancouver here 3-0, 3-1 maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't imagine LAG is anywhere near close enough to compete with top teams yet. So they don't win this. But what do you think for map count? I mean,
What did who else did Surge play this past weekend? Like I want to just like try to come. They played
um,
Falcons 3-0. Okay. I think yeah, they played Falcons and they won 3-0. I think yeah, I'm down for 3-0 as well then.
yeah. So
And then I
okay.
think we go 3-2. This.
Yes, I actually have what I have written down for this one. I have Minnesota ROKKR 3-2 and a Neslo angle.
Yeah.
Those searches in the control.
Yeah.
I could see that
Um
happening.
do you get bonus points for calling the Nesla?
I should get this is a double points game. I think I should get quadruple points. We should work out a deal with the CDL or something. If they
I
Neslo.
actually I actually don't think it'll be a Nesla. I think they're gonna take the control, one S&D and one R point.
Yeah.
But
That would
yeah,
be
I was
cool if
also
I
gonna go
called
with
that.
Rocker 3-2. I could fully see Ravens winning that too. But I
Yeah.
was leaning ROKKR 3-2.
Let's go ROKKR then. All right, cool. I'm fine with that one. Moving on to day 2 here, Miami versus FaZe. I don't think I need to say anything there. I've got FaZe against them. I don't know what map count you're thinking. We have a lot of 3-0s, so
3-0.
maybe you think 3-0?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll see another
I
3-0
think there's
then.
I think there's people on the Heretics team that piss FaZe off. I think that Heretics team is like a
Okay.
team that like very easily like can piss people off, and I think FaZe like kind of lives for that shit. So I think they just slam them.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
'cause
Fair
I
enough.
think, and I truly do, I think that's a 3. Like we have a lot of 3-0s picked right now. But I think one of those first 2 matches on Friday is not going to be a 3-0. So then it's actually not a whole lot of 3-0s.
Okay. All right. Well,
You
fine.
picking
Then
up what
we'll.
I'm putting down?
Yeah, yeah. I, I, I,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but I can't change it,
So,
or else your input would have been your juju would go over it. So,
yeah.
but yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next optic game that we've got here against Vegas Falcons, the new roster. Dude, these guys literally walked back in here, got a revenge match against Kenny, and then got a revenge match against Preds. They're going to come into this one and play this Vegas Falcons roster. I'm still going to go Optic here personally, though. Maybe I don't think this one's a 3-0 because I mean we saw Vegas is capable of winning maps. Granted, against it was Miami, so I could see like Vegas coming out winning map 1. Everybody thinks it's going to be a revenge game for Pred, and then Optic wins the next 3 or something like that.
Mm.
So, but I still think Optic takes this. What about you?
I think Optic takes it. I think you're about to see a generational Shotzi series.
Mm, okay.
I think, yeah, that's my prediction there. You called Neslo earlier. I'm calling generational Shotzi series in this one against like his old, you know what I mean, against Pred. Like they're just
Yeah.
gonna like, I think it's gonna be like one of those like phone booth fist fights where like those 2 dudes are just fucking throwing
Yeah.
haymakers at each other. Like everybody else on the map is like, what the fuck's going on there? But they're just banging on each other.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
Okay. Okay. I like it. All right. And then let's move on to the LAG versus Boston Breach. I know I'm a Boston hater, but I am gonna go with them here. um, I think Boston Breach comes out and does win this one. I just don't feel confident yet picking this new LAG roster, so I'm not gonna do it yet. We know Boston Breach loves their online. They win their games they're supposed to online to qualify for winners bracket, and I just think this is one of those games for them. So I would go Breach
Yeah.
here, maybe 3-1, 3-2. Probably not a 3-0.
3-2.
Okay.
3-2.
All right, bet.
But my thoughts, this
Oh, this is
series, I
the
don't even want to pick. That shit's nasty.
this is the
This might be the 2 worst teams in the league now. Now after Vegas gets better.
Honestly, yeah, potentially. I could very
Yeah.
well see that. I mean, maybe like Miami, but I mean Miami's still decent, I'd say.
Yeah, I think these are easily 2 of the worst 4. I'll say
Yeah,
that. Maybe top probably bottom 2 is a little egregious because Boston Breach did do decent at the
they're
major.
yeah.
So,
Um, okay. Well, yeah, got them taking that one against LAG 3-2, and then last match of day 2, we've got LA Thieves versus Cloud9. As much as I want to ride with my Cloud9 boys, after what we saw last week, and I mean what we saw from Thieves, yeah, just no reason not to pick Thieves here for me. I don't see an upset angle personally.
me neither.
Yeah, I mean I just
This
don't,
is these poor guys.
dude.
Like, can someone give them a break?
Seriously, bro.
It was
Could these guys get a LAG matchup for the love of God?
it was yeah. Could they get a LAG? Could they get a Breach? Could they get a Vegas? Could they get anybody? It was a 3-0 on the at the major. I think it's also 3-0, 3-1 here.
Yeah. So, what do you think? 3-0 or 3-1?
What are your thoughts?
Since I like Cloud9, maybe I'll give them a map here. Fuck
Yeah.
it. Fuck
Okay.
it. All right. So for the next game though, we're right back with Cloud9. They got back-to-backs, bro. Damn. For
Yeah,
this
oh,
one,
maybe they're. You think they're resting like on a like the NBA teams do? The rest on like the first night of a back to back.
Yeah,
So maybe they like rest Civ and
they
attach because attach is old as hell.
yeah, and I mean they
So
know
they
they're gonna get their ass beat by thieves, so they want to
yep
keep their guys fresh. Come
yeah,
out
and
here
then they
against
come out hot.
ROKKR. They come out. I'm
Hmm.
I think I want to ride with my Cloud9 guys in this one, man. If they let me down in this one, I'll have to start to reevaluate.
Yeah, ride with the Niners.
But I think I want to ride with them for this one. This might be another 3-2 series, though. I mean, Minnesota
Yeah,
ROKKR,
dude,
they
Rocket
go,
just went to round 11. They went to two round
yeah,
11s last.
and then
I think they're game 5 merchants.
yeah. So I mean,
So
and I could see this like this stage for ROKKR, just like thinking of it as a storyline here. I could totally see this stage like be like a 4-3, 3-4, or do they play seven?
yeah.
Do they? I don't know if they play seven. I think they only play five. I want to say, but like
Oh really?
I could be completely wrong. They only
I
play
think they.
five because there's week 3. Yeah, so they only play five at
Oh
this one. So this could be like a 3-2, 2-3, but I think they get their second win here, or their second win against Carolina, and then their second loss here against Cloud9.
yep
Um,
yep.
so I could see that for them. They're still trying to figure things out, and I mean they're going to map fives left and right. So I like that storyline for them. And then let's move on to Carolina versus Vancouver.
Three
Um,
one surge.
yeah, yeah, no, I'm going Surge as well. Maybe, yeah, maybe close, but I'm fine with a 3-1. I'd be fine with a 3-0 too, but let's go 3-1 here. I'm fine with that call. Um, and then this last one here, we've got Toronto Ultra versus LA Thieves. See, I would probably lean Thieves here. I would also, we don't have a lot of, I guess, upsets or whatnot, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Toronto upset personally. But also, like, I don't know if Toronto's internet thing is fixed or whatever the fuck was going on there. I mean, Thieves plays out of Dallas, so I mean, this will be another Dallas to Toronto. Um, but I don't know. I would lean Thieves, but I also wouldn't be surprised with a Toronto. So I'm gonna put this one up to you. I know you like your Toronto guys. You make the call here on this last one, since maybe that's what we need to fix the curse. You make the final call on this last one. I make the final call on the first one. We wrap it up in a little little Drew and Sam sandwich. How about that?
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I think you click them both to 2 because both teams get in 2.
Okay.
Um, and I think. Do you remember? I know it was a long time ago. Do you remember the last split online?
When these guys played?
No, not when these guys played. Just in general, dude. People be forgetting how good Thieves is, especially online. They were down on land, but we had them winning the whole tournament. They kind of had a rough weekend during the major, but I think they get back to it, man. I
Yeah.
think it's 3. I think it's definitely 3-2
Okay.
or even 3-1 Thieves. But I'm gonna go 3-2 Thieves.
Yeah, I like that call. I mean, yeah, I mean, we can't be quick to forget they literally went 7-0
Yeah,
online split last time, and however many matches it took to win the minor as well. So what is that like? You needed to win three matches.
yeah.
So they were like 10 and
Or
0 or something like that at least in online play last series. So, I mean, these guys, um, other than the major, have been unbeatable, and that's why, yeah, I would probably lean that way as well. But um, yeah, those are our picks that we're going here with this weekend. You good? I'm about to lock them in here. We'll see how this
we'll check
goes.
everything.
Yeah, do we have anything wrong
Yeah,
here? I
so
think
check. I think we look good. I mean, we do have kind of some upsets with like there's like the ROKKR games, so like we can't say we don't have any upsets.
yeah.
But what would you say would be the one game that like we come back next week and you're like, wow, that happened? Where do you think you could see that happening on this
Like where
slate?
I could see that happening and like would be like, I don't know, maybe this I almost want to say this Carolina game. Like
Yeah,
I could see Carolina like winning that against Surge, because I mean, I don't know the head-to-head history between those two teams, but like it's more like FaZe and Thieves are untouchable for Carolina, and like they could potentially bang with like the Surges or like the other top teams. Those aren't out of
I
their
like that pick.
grasp. So I mean that that's the one that kind of jumps out at me.
I think mine, kind of hot take. I could see Optic somehow losing one of those two series. I don't know which one it's gonna be, which one it could be. But man, are they really gonna come out and like, or maybe not lose, but at least go with like 3-2 late? Like, I don't know. They come out and go 4-0. Like, I don't know if I see that. Like,
yeah.
they're clicking, they're click like that. Like, that'd be kind of nuts. So I wouldn't be, if one were to go south, I could see it being an Optic series.
Yeah, I don't hate that call either. I mean, because you got to think they drew a pretty fucking favorable first 4 matches here. I mean, ROKKR's your hardest one there. Well, I don't know. I guess you have Cloud9 too, but 2 teams. I mean that still aren't.
No, Cloud9 would fucking beg for the fucking 4 matches
Oh
that
yeah,
Optic's got.
yeah, definitely.
So that's
But
all I got. You can
yeah.
lock it up.
All right, well let's lock it in here. Actually, I didn't even check how well we did on the leaderboard here. Major 3. Okay. See, it's like this website is dog shit, bro. It's not even updated. We have 15 points according to this, but then I mean we go back to our picks that we just did I save that?
21.
Yeah, I locked this. Right? Did that actually lock?
I didn't feel like it did. I feel like you didn't click it.
Yeah, like I can still change it. Can you still change it? I don't know, man.
Refresh.
I'm scared it's gonna get rid of everything though. Here, let me like
Okay, it's 3
here.
3
I'll do
3
this.
2.
I'll do this. I'll make this. Okay, I hit save.
Okay.
Okay, you can still do it. So I'm gonna
There we
refresh.
go.
All right, it still got it. So I think it's saved. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm excited for these games here. Looking forward to these more matches. Yeah, like we said, there's only going to be 5 each team is playing this weekend or this stage. So going to be coming quicker. This online stage is going to end a little bit quicker. That's nice. Feels like the last 2 have kind of dragged on. But yeah, so yeah, looking forward to week 2 here. Only other thing, did want to mention, I think we're getting closer to the NFL draft in a couple weeks. What you know the exact date on that? I think it's like end of April.
End of April. April 26th, I want to say.
Okay.
NFL draft date. 24th. 24th to the 26th.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to do like some episode focused on that or a segment focused on that, whether that's a mock draft
That starts
or
2 weeks from today. Now that it's past midnight.
okay.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely want to do something related to that. I don't know. Maybe we get Nick, Owen back on here. Do something. Maybe we could do something with the 4 of us if you're interested in staying around, because I do want to.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we're gonna have to keep up with CDL, so working both of those in. Definitely want to get something there before the draft comes out related to that.
Shedeur just landed in Pittsburgh. There's pictures of him.
Did he?
Yeah, he's got his pre-workout today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You yeah, but I definitely want to touch on that. We'll get there. We've got a little bit of time. Exciting to see that. That's always a fun time of the year. But
that's just the chemistry you don't get between 2 co-hosts right there. Unspoken. I was looking down. I knew exactly what was coming. That's what you get on this podcast.
It is. That is indeed. But yeah. All right, everybody. Well, make sure to follow all the socials that'll be linked down in the description below. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Drop a like if you have not yet. Yeah. Other than that, we will be back next week to cover the week 2 matches and look at the last week of online play of Major 3. All right. Peace out, everybody. Top like I'm stuck, it's time giving it up. She wanna get married tonight, but I can't take a knee 'cause I'm wearing all white.